summary question. Whenever you're given a summary question, read the paragraph, identify the main points, have a summary in your head before you look at the options. The correct summary is one which has all the main points as enumerated by you, as far as possible, as many points as enumerated by you, and as far as possible in the same order given in the passage. Again, there can be slight shifts, it's okay. The wrong option is the one which is, wrong options given are generally either partially correct, don't give all the main points, or they misrepresent what has been said in the passage, making an example the main point of the passage and stuff like that, or they mention something which is out of scope of the passage, which has not been mentioned in the passage. Since it's a summary, it cannot go beyond what has been stated in the passage. Let's look at this question. The feminist critique of compulsory monogamy is compelling. According to Laurie Watson, professor of philosophy at Washington University in St. Louis, the practice and enforcement of monogamy within marriages has largely served the interests of men. So this professor says that this monogamy, being married to one person only at a time, has served the interests of men. Throughout history, men have wanted to ensure their children are really theirs. That way, any property they bequeath, they give, ends up with their biological offspring. She concludes that the idea that this and this, only this arrangement is conducive to respectful, loving relationships is myopic. So she says the practice of monogamy is in the interests of men. Men have promoted monogamy because they wanted to be sure that the property goes to their biological offspring. To say that monogamy is the only way for loving and conducive to loving relationship is myopic, short-sighted, and arguably in service of shoring up the dominant position men have traditionally enjoyed. So insisting that that monogamy is the only way to having a loving relationship is only to support, to pump up men's position, dominant position in the traditional setup. These are the main points. Monogamy in the interest of men. Men wanted their biological offspring to get their property, and insisting on monogamy has only helped men in a traditionally male-dominated society. All right, roughly that. Let's look at the option which mentions all these points. Feminists believe that monogamy just serves the interests of men and is not the only only arrangement suitable for respectful and loving relationship. Yes, seems to be correct, but missing some main points, right? Monogamy just serves the interests of men, okay, largely serves the interests of men. Then say just serves the interests of men. All right, and it doesn't cover all the main points. A feminist review of forced monogamy is fascinating as substantiated by, now remember, the passage is not the opinion of all feminists. The feminist critique of compulsory monogamy is the one that you're talking about. And you are mostly quoting Laurie Watson. You are quoting Laurie Watson, who's given a critique of compulsory monogamy. A critique of compulsory monogamy as given by Laurie Watson. That's the summary. What A does is, A makes it sound that all feminists believe this. So that is a little too general for us. And also that's the main reason against A. B, a feminist review of forced monogamy is fascinating. Compelling is fascinating. As substantiated by Laurie Watson, again the main person who's given the critique's name is given, who states that enforcing monogamy largely serves men's interests. Looks like a very good summary, but I still want to read C and D. The feminist critique of compulsory monogamy is discretional, as it states that monogamy only serves men's interests, largely serves, what does discretional mean? By ensuring that property is passed on to the biological children. That means you can accept it or not accept it. The author hasn't used anything about the discretional nature of it. Okay. And no, that is discretionary. Discretional means tactful. No aspect of that has been mentioned. Therefore, that's not right answer. Compulsory monogamy serves men's interests as the property is inherited by the biological offspring, and the notion of its being the only arrangement suitable to respectful relationships strengthens their dominant position. May be true, but where did you tell me that this is the view of Laurie Watson in her critique on compulsory monogamy? Therefore, only one tells me whose view is this, part of what, and what does it state, and that is option B.